You guys, I've been thinking about R.Kelly ever since the verdict came in yesterday. And the media keeps saying he's looking at 140 years behind bars. And I don't want that. I don't want that for him. I don't want him to spend the rest of his life in jail. I do not want him to die in prison. He's not a monster. He's not an evil man. I want him to be able to walk out of jail in a couple of years. 2 years tops. So, now that he's been convicted of RICO and the Mann Act, I think it's time for a lawyer who is an expert plea negotiator to be brought in to negotiate a plea deal for R.Kelly across all jurisdictions and have it to where they drop the sex crime charges and charge him with taxes, like tax evasion or something like that, and allow him to do 2 more years and then let him out of jail. 2 more years, then let him out of jail, get rid of all the sex crime charges, reverse the verdict for the Mann Act, and so he can come home, y'all. I don't want him convicted on any sex crime charges, because then he would have to register as a sex offender, and that will affect his ability to tour and also live privately, because everybody will know his address and anybody could just figure out where he's at and come rob him. You know, it's time for a deal across all jurisdictions. Time for a deal across all jurisdictions, you guys. R.Kelly's an innocent man, but we see how corrupt the feds are. We saw how corrupt Judge Donnelly is. I almost said John Donnelly. Judge Donnelly is so corrupt and so evil, and she hates R.Kelly. Do you think that if he waits until May 4th to be sentenced, that she will not give him 140 years behind bars? That's what the media is saying. That they want him to get 140 years behind bars. A man who has not killed anyone. 140 years. I don't want it to happen. I don't want him to be treated this way. He has been done wrong. We know he's innocent. But we can't fight the federal government, you guys. We can't fight the federal government. I know Cosby got out, but Cosby was a state case. And Mr. Cosby also has $300 million in the bank, and he had a lot of property. So he was able to fight and get lawyers who would do a great job on the appeal and get him out of jail. R.Kelly, unfortunately, doesn't have that type of cash. What's that? I'm at work, y'all. But unfortunately, R.Kelly doesn't have that type of cash, and his money is frozen. Remember, the feds froze all his assets, so he doesn't have the money to fight these people.
Test 1 2. Test 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
I probably should have waited till I got off work to do the video, because I'm gonna keep getting interruptions. But like I was saying, I love R.Kelly. I support him. But I don't want him to spend 140 years behind bars. I want him out of jail before he turns 60. So he's 54 now. 2 more years for taxes. They drop all the sex crime charges. And he could be home, safe and sound. That's what I want. We're at that point. We're at that point where he may have to give in. He may have to give in. He's fighting against the federal government. I don't want him to go to trial in Chicago. He will not get a fair trial there. They will convict him there this time, even though we know it's all BS. The jury probably was paid off in New York, and they'll pay off another jury in Chicago, and they'll get him there too. He can't go to trial in Chicago. It's time for this to be done. It's time for this to be done.
Test 1 2. Testing 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3.
Anyway, free R.Kelly, free R.Kelly, free R.Kelly, and fuck anybody who don't like him. God bless R.Kelly.